My name's Anthony, and I identify as genderqueer. And what that means to me is that I don't identify strictly as a boy or a girl. I identify however I want to identify on the day or whatever. I like having that freedom to identify how I feel like identifying. Um, I think that when I say that I'm a boy or I say that I'm a girl, that limits me to what I'm how to that limits my ability to express myself, to express my gender, because there's so many things that people need to do so that other people get that you're a boy or girl. You need a pass. And I feel like I don't pass, or I don't even know what that means, passing. Like, I know what it means, but it doesn't make sense. Like, there's so many that's complicated, but if I had that's why if I had to identify myself, I identify myself as genderqueer. And as a high school student, it's hard for me because I get daily reminders that I'm not a boy, that I have to choose, that there's that I have to be one or the other. At It's small things like when teachers refer to the class as "Hey, you guys." That's a small thing to a lot of people because it's normal. It's become normal in our society to refer to a group of people as men, as all men, but I don't identify that way. So it just is a reminder. It's like a tick. I'm not mad at the teacher because I know that's just how we're raised and it's normal. I get it. Most of the time they're not doing it on purpose, but just to me it's like something in my head just says you're not a boy, and it just bothers me because then they just say, well, you should be. And I don't know, it's like this whole internal conflict. And it happens also when they use examples in classrooms where people say he, she, or mommy slash daddy, or him slash his, and they're trying to be inclusive. And I get it, they don't realize it, but for me, I don't identify as just he or she. So where do I fit in? Why do I have to be a daddy or a mommy? Why can't I just be a parent? Why do I have to be a he or a she? Why can't I just be them? Like, there's I feel like it's just so hard to be reminded that there's you can only be a man or a woman. Bathrooms, big issue for me. I go to airports and there's clear dividers between the men's and the male and the female restroom. Or I go to school and the male restroom is on one side of the hall and the female's on the other side of the hall. And it's so hard for me because at least in my school the boys are there's like secreted homophobia in the bathrooms. People don't want to go to the urinal next to another guy for the fear that they'll look at them going to the bathroom or that it's gay or whatever. And it's like when I walk into the bathroom and it happens to be the day that I have my fingers painted, I feel like all eyes are on me. Or as soon as I open my mouth and people make the assumption that I'm just gay, which I'm queer, I just feel, it makes me nervous and it makes me angry to see that people are this ignorant, that they don't want to go to the bathroom next to each other because of whatever assumed homosexuality. And it makes me feel uncomfortable. So I usually use the my humanities bathroom, which you need a key for, and it's just one person bathroom, and it makes me feel so much more comfortable because I get that privacy. No one is looking at me. No one is expecting anything from me. I can just, do what I need to do, and that's it. But there's not that many options in our society to do that. There's no gender neutral bathroom at airports or at schools. For most schools, there's no gender neutral bathroom or anywhere really. And whenever I have to just go with the male restroom, it feels like I'm succumbing to this gender binary that we live in, and it just makes me feel so gross, and it makes me feel so, I don't know, I just feel so uncomfortable in male restrooms. And um I just it's I don't it really just makes my gender for me apparent. And for me, my gender is important because all of my journey as realizing that I'm not cisgender straight guy, um that I my whole journey I've had to always justify my identity. Like when I came out as pansexual a while ago, I had my friends tell me, "You're not pansexual, you're gay. Just say you're gay." And it's like, why won't you trust me that I'm queer? I'm queer, I'm pansexual, I'm whatever. I'm not just gay. And even my friends that I say I'm gender queer, or when I tell my friends I'm queer, they always say, "Well, doesn't that mean you're gay?" No, I'm not. I'm queer, and they just rub it off. They're like, "Yeah, whatever." And I understand that socially I may have mannerisms that are seen as gay or whatever, but just I don't identify that way, and that's something that people should respect, and it goes with my identity too. And for my identity, it's a bigger thing for me because it's so apparent within myself. When it comes to my sexual orientation, I don't have to think about it as much because it's something that to me I've thought about enough that it's normal and people don't really bring it up. But when it comes to gender, I'm always thinking, what is this person thinking about me? Do I look like, it's like I hear things on a daily basis. People call me sir without even asking what I want to be referred to as. And it's like a daily reminder. I have daily gender reminders. Even going to the bathroom, I have to remind myself, well, have to go all the way to this side of the school to use the bathroom and get a key and hope that the key's available and write my name down on a freaking piece of paper. It's a daily struggle for me. And so when um, people tell me when I try to explain to them I'm genderqueer, and they just say, "Well, you're just a guy. You look like this way or whatever," and I say, "Okay, I look a certain way, but that's not how I feel," and they don't get it, and it's just tiring to have to educate people, and it's sad, but I've gone to the point where I've just given up. Like, I won't say anything unless people blatantly ask me, and I won't say anything when teachers say guys, or I won't say anything when people say his her, because it's just so like it's just so tiring to have to remind people, and it's so tiring to have to fight for my identity. And I recently went to a PFLAG meeting, and it opened my eyes because a lot of the parents said that this is the first time that they're hearing about being genderqueer, and it's so important for me to, even if I don't change people's minds or I convince them, at least they know something. And it's easier said than done. Having to do this every day to every single person is tiring as hell. And hear it from my friends at school. It's not an easy thing to do, especially when you don't have those role models to help you out along the way. Being queer, I've always had that support at my school because I had a gay teacher who helped me out when I was going through something at home. My GSA advisor is a lesbian. I have these role models and I have these people I can ask questions to that have most likely gone through similar things that I have. But when it comes to gender, you have to be lucky to be in a school with a trans teacher or a trans identifying teacher. And my school doesn't have that kind of teacher and doesn't have that kind of adult, and I don't have anyone to turn to with these problems, and I have to fend for myself. I have to do my own research, and even just realizing that one of my friends was genderqueer too, it realize it, like, for her to realize it and then tell me, and it just left me feeling so much more not alone. I didn't feel alone. I felt like there's someone else that gets what I'm going through and gets the constant struggle and gets the isolation in classrooms and understands the hardship with having to justify your identity or being assumed that you're just one or the other. And it just, if I had to just say one thing, if I had to just sum up my whole gender journey this whole time, I think I would just have to sum it up with disrespect and reminders. Disrespect in the sense that people don't respect my identity and people assume my identity, and they don't take what I say seriously, and they disregard it and just clump me up with the rest of the boys or the rest of the gays. Um, and reminder, I guess a better word is isolation, that I don't have places that I can go to feel comfortable. Classrooms, it's all male, female oriented. It's all boys, girls, examples, and referring to people. Or bathrooms, it's always very clear you can only go to one bathroom. And Not saying that I want to go to both bathrooms at the same time, but you can only choose one bathroom to go to. And it's just that isolating feeling wherever I go that that I don't fit into these little boxes uh, of gender facilities or gender spaces. I just don't fit in, and it's hard.